One life you get, one life you live. If you not protect it, nobody will. Marcus, life too short, so me want enjoy.
Hi everyone, I'm Miss Betty Lou here with Lincoln Anthony Blades for the Coco magazine, and this is He Said, She Said.
Zip it up, bag it up, anything you want to do, protect your life.
So Lincoln, what is the deal with men these days when it comes to casual sex? That's what I want to know. What's the deal with men? Because, you know, they seem to think they know more about a woman's emotions and feelings than we do, than us women do. And that's virtually impossible.
I disagree in one sense, because I can't tell you how you feel. And I can't tell you why you feel the way that you feel. But I can tell you how your actions make me feel about how you feel, if that makes any sense. I can't tell you, like, why you feel the way you feel, right? But when you come at me a certain way, it makes me see that there's a side of you that maybe you don't see yourself, because not everyone's self-aware enough to know how they're coming off to other people.
Okay.
Here's my point about the casual sex thing. I've always said, it's my personal belief, that casual sex is great. It is amazing. It is just 2 thumbs up. Only if, and that's a big but, only if you are someone who can handle having casual sex.
Agreed.
Because some people think they can do it, but they really can't handle casual sex. I think there's some women who actually believe that they can handle casual sex when they actually end up finding out that they can't. And men have been in that situation so much that, you know, we start to assume that women can't.
Okay, I can agree with that there are women who think they can handle certain things when it comes to casual sex and can't. But my thing is, men will look at a woman's actions and then they'll take their own interpretation from it without taking that time to, like, actually do a check-in with the woman and see what's going on. Oh my gosh, she's so attached. Like, oh, the sex is so good. Like, she's hooked. Oh my gosh, she's calling me baby. Oh, she wants me to come over and hang out. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that she's attached and that she's hooked on you. I just want to know what makes men the authority on determining what our actions mean without asking us or finding out from us.
Because I don't think that the majority of cases where casual sex ends up becoming a big problem. I think the vast majority of those cases, the women is not acting as, you know, aloof and innocuous as that. I think most women are very overt. Casual sex causes overt problems. So it's not like the woman's being like, oh, you know, it was so good, and, you know, oh, baby, this and that. And then he's like, I don't know, why is she calling me baby? Does she want a relationship? I think what happens is that men find themselves with women, they're in this casual sex thing, and then she starts doing stuff that's very overtly weird and creepy as per the actual agreement that they should have in place. So that's when she'll start saying, like, hey, you know, my parents are having a barbecue. And you're like, okay, congratulations for your parents. What does that have to do with me? It's because, like, that's the stuff where guys are like, okay, she's, you know. All
right, I can agree with that might be a little bit of a sign that a woman is not handling it well and trying to push for more. But speaking from not necessarily my own experiences, but what I've heard from women, is that it can be even more subtle things than that. But I think men fail to realize that some women are emotionally mature, so just because they might do things like cook you a meal or invite you over or invite you out doesn't mean that they're necessarily looking for a relationship. You can be playing in the major leagues or you can be playing in the minor leagues. I mean, some women are capable of having their cake and eating it too, if that's what you want to call it.
And the problem with guys is that a lot of guys have had that cake thrown in their face enough times to not want to repeat that scenario again. And you know what? The one thing I'll say about this is I actually believe a lot of women really and truthfully do not critically analyze how prepared they are for that type of relationship. And I think that there's actually a lot of women who get into those types of relationships where they say they just want casual sex, but the truth is they more just want to use casual sex as a way to leverage themselves into a relationship.
Okay. And I think that goes either way. So I'll agree with that because I think men do that too. I don't think
I
it's
don't
just
think
a
men do
female
that.
thing. But
I
then
don't think men do that.
you don't think men do that?
Leverage sex to get men leverage relationships to get sex.
No.
I don't think
No,
leverage sex.
there are men out there who leverage sex to get a relationship.
But why would a man do that?
Well, because there's women out there who, like I said, can manage that casual sex thing, but men catch feelings too. It goes both ways. I think we label women as the ones who are always catching the feelings and wanting the relationship. But in reality, I think it goes both ways. Men are vulnerable creatures.
I agree with that. Men do catch there are men that catch feelings in those situations. I agree with that. But what we're talking about is leveraging. We're talking about going, I don't think men would be like, you know what? I'm going to try to get into a casual sex relationship with this girl, and I'm going to put it on her so good that she's going to want me to be her man. I don't think men say that.
Really?
I don't think men do that.
Well, I mean, how many women out there meet a guy and they're like, well, I'm not really looking for a relationship right now. Because they don't want to be with the guy, but maybe they just want a little, I'm not saying that's something that I support, but maybe they just want a little something on the side. But then my other issue with men is the way they deal with that type of woman who becomes attached or, goes into it thinking that she can handle it and then realizing that she can't. The way that men treat them and deal with that. Oh, let me just stop returning her text. Let me not text her as much. Let me not call her. Whatever happened to normal human communication? When did that go out the window is my question. Why can't we treat each other respectfully and be adults about the situation?
Someone who wants a casual sex relationship, they typically want to do that because they don't want to invest emotion into the relationship. So what happens is when one person catches feelings, they're now asking the other person to engage them emotionally. And when you start to ask someone to engage them emotionally, when they're already emotionally unavailable, I think it's unfair to that person. I'll be fair here. Let's just say it's a man or a woman. The man or the woman catches feelings, right? The man or the woman catches feelings. Now they're calling you on a Friday night, yo, what's going on? I'm calling my texts. I'm not seeing the number on my phone. What's happening? I'm not hearing from you. And then the whole reason that you don't want to be in a relationship is because you're not about that life. You don't want anything to do with those kind of conversations and the complicated stuff. You didn't want any of that, but now this person is giving you that. And it's hard for some people to respond to that because they don't know, they specifically wanted a relationship without emotion. So now when you bring emotion to them, the only way that they know how to deal with it is by running.
So that's the problem. That is so disrespectful and I feel hurtful to people as well. Why not just pick up the phone and say, not necessarily when you're out and that person's blowing up your phone, but why not at a later time just send a text and be like, listen, boo, there's too much emotion in this. I'm not feeling the situation. This is not what I wanted. I'm sorry if I hurt you, but this is not what I want. Honestly, I would rather a dagger through the heart telling me straight up, I'm not interested. I don't want to do this. I already told you I didn't want to do this. Than you just blowing me off.
The situation can never be that clean cut.
Why not? Okay, yeah. The other person might blow up and get mad. If they're immature. If they're
immature at this point.
If they're a mature person, they're going to respect you. That's the thing with women. We respect honesty. We honestly respect honesty above everything else. As much as honesty may hurt, we respect it more.
I think women respect honesty, but I don't think women are gonna just accept being cut off like that. And what happens is you get into this continual emotional back and forth. Okay. That's the problem.
But if someone lets you down like that, where can you really go from there? If you're immature, yeah, you can cuss them out, but where else can you really go? If a woman actually has an ego and pride and self-respect, are you going to really sit there and beg somebody to be with you when they're telling you flat out and blatantly, I don't want you?
I think people don't know how crazy they are until they meet someone good who makes them crazy.
Yeah.
So we're all crazy, but we don't know how crazy we are until we get into that situation. That's what I'm saying. Women may be mature. It could be all Michelle Obama, from any ratchet chick in the street to Michelle Obama. Once the person that you're really feeling at that moment, when they decide to cut ties with you, it never ends as cleanly as your mind tells you it should. Assume that she will catch feelings. Assume. You have to assume. You have to hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. End it by saying, my piece is, I believe that people should ask themselves and realistically see if they are mentally and emotionally prepared to get into a casual relationship before they even think about doing it.
Yes. And I will agree with you on that. And what I like to tell people is know yourself before you let anyone else know you. Because if you don't know yourself, you're going to get lost in somebody else.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was the first episode of He Said, She Said, featuring me, Lincoln Anthony Blades, and my beautiful co-host, Miss Betty Lou, for Coco Magazine. Until episode 2, peace.
Enjoy every bit of it. Me not perform nothing careless. Catch the big A, I protect myself from it. Protect your life. Wrap it up, zip it up, bag it up. Anything you want to do. Protect your life.